investment, debt, financial crisis, and stabilization policies. But I would like to go into my lecturer's slides in order to get a lot of details and so that I can convince you people. Just a moment, please. Balance of payment. Here we are, chapter 13, balance of payment, debt, financial crisis, and stabilization policies. The international finance and investment key issues of developing countries, how major debt crises emerged during the 1980s financial crisis. General consideration, balance of payment, BOP, current account surplus and deficit account. Balance of payment account. This is a table showing the export of goods, services, import of goods, services, investment income, debt, services, net remittance and transfer total, and adopted from John William and Ronald Else. The balance of payment account, general consideration, cash account or international reserve account, three forms: hard currency, gold, and deposit with IMF. You know the meaning of IMF, International Monetary Fund. The issue of payment deficit. Some initial policy issue: international reserve, restrictive fiscal and monetary policy, structural adjustment stabilization policy, special drawing right, that SDRS. This is the developing countries payment, balance of payment on current account 1980 to 2019, billions of dollars. Emerging market, developing economics 1980 to 29.621. As at 1988 is minus 44.718. Emerging market, these are the figures. Background and analysis, external debt, debt services, basic accumulation of debt and emergence of the debt crisis. The mechanic of petrodollar recycling. As we all know that petrol transaction is being done in dollar, that's why the name is found. It's being called with petrodollar. OPEC country export oil, dollars. OPEC country deposit dollar in US and European banks. Euro dollar market. Oil, Europe, Japan and United States send dollar to OPEC countries to pay for imported oil. Europe and US bank lend OPEC petrodollar to developing countries, borrowers leading to debt expansion. Developing country debtors pay debt. The reason why China is not still the top while US is still at the top, it's because of this petrodollar. The moment people stop using dollar to buy oil, or the moment people stop using petrodollar to buy oil, that's the crash of the United States of America. This the IMF stabilization program, macroeconomic instability, stabilization policy, for basic component of IMF stabilization program: liberalization, devaluation of the official exchange rate, stringent domestic anti-inflation program, opening up of the economy to international commerce. Like the moment a country wants to borrow from IMF has some certain criteria that that country must follow. That's uh, the devaluation of official rate of your currency has to, you have to devalue it. And the IMF stabilization program, such policy can be politically unpopular because they hurt the lower and middle income group. That's uh, the underdeveloped and developing countries. Less radical observers view the IMF as neither a developmental nor an anti-developmental institution. For me, I would like to say IMF is anti-developmental institution, but for people who think that IMF helps developing countries in order for them to grow, for me, I disagree with that. The IMF stabilization program tactics for debt relief, debtors cartel restructuring brandy plan, debt for equity swap, debt for nature swap, debt for reputing highly indebted poor countries, some progress but vulnerabilities remain, global imbalance, as you can see, discrepancy, the way it goes. Causes of the crisis and challenges to lasting recovery, economic impact on developing countries, economic growth, export, foreign investment inflow, developing countries, stock markets, and aid. Economic impact on developing countries contribute to influence among developing countries, local remittance, poverty, health and education, general policy framework. The foreign impact across developing China and the exchange rate controversies, East Asia and South Asia except China, India, Latin America and Africa. Concept of